computer. What's up?
YAJFX. YAJFX. YAJ.
I bought these. No, actually, this one's
You just don't.
To YAJ. Welcome to YAJ.
What's up, spiritual brothers, on a YouTube Tuesday?
We got 3 eyes.
3 eyes on a YouTube Tuesday. Hit them up.
All right, y'all. Ooh, we got 4 eyes. We're on the 4 eyes. All right. If you could travel anywhere, where would you go? For right now, I'd like to go to the Bahamas.
Heaven, we already shut up.
I want to go to the Bahamas.
We don't want to know. Mars.
Why
Yeah,
not go to
I hear a
Mars?
lot of buzz about Mars here lately. Like, supposedly we can't find killers, but we can hear something from Mars.
Is Marvin the Martian Man up there?
Who knows?
We want to go see him.
First of all, I like to say love my babies and love my grandbabies. Welcome home, sweetheart. Welcome home, baby. And your father was so proud to hear from you this afternoon.
Yes, he was.
And
very proud.
I couldn't do, even with all my anger exterior, I found a gleam of smiling. And happy birthday to my boy Wyatt, which is the 26th, but I want to go ahead and say it anyway. And St. Patty's Day is coming up.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you what, we better hopefully do St. Patty's this year, because I was so ready last year for St. Patty's and things just went downhill.
Yes, it did. Everybody's on a curfew.
So if we can make it past March, we know we got this in the bag.
Also, have anybody seen the Quentin Tarantino movie, Death Proof? When I saw it for the first time years ago, it was actually not that bad. It was a really good movie. If you're into, a little bit on the gore side. Oh, you saw it? Oh, Antonio said he didn't like it because he has no imagination for Stuntman Mike. All right. Minnesota judge has 200 blunt words for divorcing parents. And this was by Judge Michael Haas in 2001. He says,
Yeah, tell him what I want to hear what he's got to say.
Your children have come into this world because of the two of you.
Okay.
Perhaps you two made lousy choices to whom you decide to be the other parent. If so, that is your problem and your fault. I totally agree. I don't know why these judges who proclaim they're in the middle, but they're not, already decided who they're siding with. It is not your right, because would you we forgot, you're a judge. Nobody's going to come make decisions for you because you get to throw in your cards. But for the rest of us, if somebody came and took your children and left you like you left us, empty-handed, without a clue, took all our power away, you will feel just as helpless as we did. You need to think about that for a moment. Or to some of you parents who like to think that they're the all-American great parent and you're truly not. What makes you decide?
Parenting is not easy.
It's not. It takes two. If I stuck it in you and she did it on me, then we should decide what's best. And if you can't decide, then yeah, a course of mediation should be looked into before you go to a judge. We already know that nobody's going to agree on anything. But in the same token, when you played house, you should have been adult enough to have a backup plan in case something goes south. I did it and it still didn't work out for me.
Well, I mean, I had 2 kids. It might not have been easy with their father, but we made it. We survived.
Right. No matter what you think of the other party or what your family thinks of the other party, these children are one half of each of you. So
basically, you have you and you have well, it depends on how many children you have. You
Right.
have one child that's just like you and part of the father,
right.
and then you can have one that's part of the father and a little bit of you.
Right. But unfortunately, this day and age, everybody thinks that it's just all women. If that's the case, then all women need to get the hell up, take your stink ass to the damn sperm bank and inject it all and be done with it.
Actually, I think that I've known quite a few people that have actually, women have done that.
Yeah.
It's like, why have a partner when I can just do this on my own?
Exactly. And then when you file for child support, don't put in some fictitious name that's going to get somebody jammed up because you just made up a name and then now we got to pay child support on a woman I don't even know.
And there are some out there that have children that didn't even know they had children, or they knew they had children, but they didn't say anything. Or, and sometimes there's women that have children that say anything to the guy. They don't want them in the picture, period.
Yeah. I almost got a tempt of court because I said, I don't recall any of you people in the bedroom when her and I conceived this child. And the judge looked at me and said, you say that again, you're going to jail. But it's the truth.
Why would you want to put somebody in jail because of something like that?
Because
I'm not knocking all these judges, but you know what? Truth be told, if you're in a situation, some men, some women are getting trashed when they haven't really done anything wrong.
Exactly.
And I hate to tell you, yes, I've been married. I got divorced. Yes, we went through some things. And yes, you can get mad and you can get angry and you can push each other's buttons really, really bad. But you know what? You made it through, and there's a reason why you got divorced, because you couldn't handle each other no more. But that doesn't mean, even after the divorce, as much as you didn't want the other person to be around the children or want them to see the children, you got to bite the bullet because you're not always in charge.
Let me ask you something. If I didn't have the domestic violence charge against my ex-wife, would you think that would have helped out my factor in the decision about my child? I don't think so. I think it still would have been the same way. She had the upper hand. No matter what happened, she had the upper hand. She had the money, the means, and the lawyer. All before I even got kicked out of the house.
No, we're not bored. At least I don't think we're bored.
Who's that?
Joshua Strickland.
Oh. Remember that, because every time you tell your child what an idiot his father is, or what a fool his mother is, or how bad the absent parent is, or terrible things that person has done, you are telling the child half of him is bad.
Okay. You do not ever put the other parent down in front of the children.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you keep doing that, eventually they're not going to like you. And when they go to talk to the other parent, or they're around the other parent, and they realize that after a while, they're going to make their own decision older, who they're going to be close to and who they're going to go and talk to.
One of the times in court, I said, would you appreciate it if someone did this to your daughter? What you're doing right now, would you appreciate that? And I finally got a response. See, here's the thing that I don't understand. It's kind of funny how people are mouthy outside of the courtroom, but when they get in front of a judge, then they all of a sudden shutting up.
They clam up.
Why's that?
Because they know that they can get in trouble.
I mean, it did no wrong. Why you need an attorney? Look, man, I've been trying to tell you for a long, long, long time, whether you watch the show or not. I've been trying to tell you this for a long, long time. When it comes to white kids, for some damn reason, they're able to get an attorney. When it comes to black kids, somehow they get a confession. You tell me. This all ties into everything we're talking about. You tell me, how is it that one white child or white parent has access to an attorney faster than a black child or a black parent? Because all this ties into exactly what we've been saying about parenting, about being a person, about yourself. Because honestly, everything this judge is saying here, thank God there is some type of sensible judges. Everything it was saying is exactly what I got beat up in court. We can bring out the worst in Leslie, but we can't say nothing about her. We can assassinate my character and make me look like the bad guy, but she's an angel when she was the one doing it all. It's the truth. Everything in black and white. You are a judge. No, you're not even supposed to be biased to neither one of the parties. If you're looking out for the child, then the child is, whether the parent, you said it here, whether the parent is good or bad, should still have access to that child.
Only, and the only reason why I say this, a man should have access to their child, or a woman should have access to their child only if they're not abusive, doing serious drugs, or they just can't take care of the child and they're not taking care of the child.
There were parents, they just not doing
No, there are parents out there that have children and they've done serious problems and they still have their children.
Yeah, but yet
that's the problem.
But yet you got guys out here fighting for the kids. Oh, you quick to snatch that. You're quick to snatch the guy. There were kids who their parents was actually doing heroin or junk in front of the child, and they still was able to keep their child. She knows a few bad parents, still got their kids, still get access to their kids. Now, she's been with me long enough to see my case. And
my kids have seen you. My kids have talked to you. My kids know who you are.
And she finally has had the opportunity to see that
to where, you're sitting here saying that you're doing bad when you're not doing bad. You're paying what you're supposed to pay. And then you sit here and turn around and act like, oh, he's done so wrong. But hello, when you're punishing your child not to see your father, even though he's paying child support and wants to see his child, but you won't let him see him, that's wrong. And then, of course, if you go try to go to the house to see her or whatever, of course, we're going to call the police.
Yeah.
When on the paper it says you have every right to see your child. In this day and age, police officers tell you whatever's on the paper, that's what you got to abide by.
Right.
If it's his weekend, it's his weekend, no matter what. And if it's her weekend, it's her weekend.
Right. Not we walk into court and we snatch your rights and we don't tell you why.
Hi, Lawrence. Louisa? Laura?
That is an unforgivable thing to do to a child. That is not love. That is possession.
You're using that child as a pawn.
And believe me, all these judges know that. That's why I can't understand for the life of me how you still make them decisions. Y'all know that. And you wonder why the cycle never breaks. Because you perpetuated just like everybody else. Oh, Scotty, we understand that you had a bad day. You killed 20 kids, but let's figure out what happened. Oh,
I was having a bad day.
Oh, Latrey, we figured out what your gang symbols on your face, that you're just a bad kid. So we're going to kick you out and cuff you every chance we get. You think I'm lying about those stereotypes, but that shit is true. Let's see, we haven't had a school shooting in what, 2 years? Because of COVID-19.
Only like a few like a handful of schools have kids in them, and that's not even a whole school that has them in there.
Mall's not full enough for y'all to shoot up somebody? Is that what that is?
Are you allowed to even go to the mall? You can't have so many people walking around.
If you do that to your children, you will destroy them as surely as if you had cut them into pieces, because that is what you are doing to them. Reason why that's a true statement is, and it's clearly stated in the Bible to those who read it. You reap what you sow. Because you might not think you're doing is wrong and you're high and mighty above the whole judicial system and God. But remember, every generation gets hemmed up behind your actions. That's why I changed mine. That's exactly why I changed mine. I sincerely hope that you do not do that to your children. Yeah, well, think more about your children and less about yourselves. And make yours a selfless kind of love, not foolish or selfish, or your children will suffer. Now, the reason why I did that tonight is because the simple fact is everything that Monica and the Silent Bob over there, when we sit down there, we do everything we can to help others because we've been there. We're trying to tell you, if you want to stop the cycle of bleeding, it starts with you. And it always has been. Just because what your parents did to you doesn't mean you do that to your children. I have messed up along the way. Believe me, I have messed up. And God knows I have to sit there and take it when I talk to my oldest. But I tried to show her I'm changing as a man to show that I'm trying to be a positive role model for you.
Well, you can only do but so much. Be the best you can. You know, you're not perfect. You don't come with a manual how to take care of your kids and that. You do what you can. You hope you bring them up and you hope they do right and they survive and, you know, they have a good life.
Right.
And
But
they
it
can
doesn't
take care of
happen.
themselves. Sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't. It just depends on how things go, how up, and where it's going to go.
Right.
What? Say it.
You gonna give it in sign language? He had nothing. Oh, look, Silent Bob. Isn't that what I said? Oh.
Look, I'm going to tell you, my parents got divorced too. The thing is when you're kids, it's not fun, period. It's not fun at all.
We are born out of love. I don't know why he couldn't say that, but okay. I think the cat's got it.
But still, when you get a divorce and stuff like that, don't think these kids are not going through things either. Because when they have their mom and dad together and all this, that, together, and then all of a sudden you're going one way and they're going another way, and now got to go here 1 week, there 1 week, here this weekend, this that weekend, and back and forth, and they got these rules here, these rules there. If you communicate, which is a good thing on some level, but if you and your ex-significant other is having problems, talk it behind closed doors or where the kids do not hear it. They do not need to hear all of the fighting. They're going to know that you're not happy, but sitting there doing it in front of the kids does not help because you already did it when you were married. There's no sense in letting them see it anymore. They need to know that, you know, life goes on and that even though you're separated, if you find somebody else that you actually work with and happy, staying in a relationship for the rest of your life because you're miserable is just showing the kids that this is how it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's not how it's supposed to be.
The cycle repeats itself. You ready to play us out? See you Saturday.
All right, have a good one. Lord knows what we talk about Saturday. You never know. I don't even want to know.
I could have talked about that. Shirley gave me a middle finger because he was zooming by me.
YAJ.
People just.
There's some crazy people out there.
I'm sorry, what you said?
Did you see that bird?
I saw that. That's the only gesture I've got.
Oh, let me tell you something. You know what? Oh, what is it called? It's not an ostrich. It's called emu. There's an emu right there on 33 in Walton's Tavern. And I've never seen this emu like run. I've seen it on the fence lines, walk, and all that every day. All of a sudden, I'm turning, and this emu is like running. Running.
To YAJ.
Everybody have a good night.
Welcome to
I
YAJ.
looked over, there's these two buzzards sitting next to the water, the pond thing. It was going after them.
Just talking